Today on Nintendo No, the topic is the promising sequel to the Sega cult classic RPG that just never came to be. Skies of Arcadia is a fan favourite amongst the select few who bought it on the Dreamcast. It was made by some pretty well-known developers and designers who had previously worked on some relatively big-name RPGs, such as the Fantasy Star series, Magic Knight Rayearth, as well as the Sakura Taisen series, to name just a few. Despite this, Skies was not to sell well on the Dreamcast, likely due to its small install base and the strong competition seen by PlayStation RPGs at the time. Nevertheless, Sega still believed in Vice and his pirating adventures, so they made an expanded port of the game for the PS2 and the GameCube under the name Skies of Arcadia Legends. Though the PlayStation 2 port would later be cancelled due to unknown reasons, the GameCube Skies port would see a full release in the year 2002 in Japan and further west the following year. Just as the Dreamcast version before it though, Legends would receive much critical acclaim and even fix the main flaw of the original Dreamcast Skies, the large amount of random encounters. Despite this, Legends would bomb in sales even harder than it had on the Dreamcast, due to the waning interest in turn-based RPGs and the GameCube's install base's slight hesitance towards buying third-party games. A sequel was in the making despite poor sales, at least in some form, and was to be made by the same team who made the original, Overworks. This much was found out in a 2001 interview between Noriyoshi Oba, a developer at Overworks, and IGN, in which he said he was considering to make the game, but they were still evaluating it. Then, in September 2002, shortly before Legends would be released in Japan, Kodama, a predominant figure at Overworks, told GameSpy that while they would really love to make a sequel, they were not currently working on it in any form. All would go silent on the Skies of Arcadia sequel for almost 2 years, until Oba would announce in March 2004 that Skies 2 was currently in the planning stages. It would reach an almost complete plan, but that would be as far as it would get, as in 2003 Overworks was absorbed into Sega WoW, and soon after that, due to another restructuring at Sega, the team would be split up into several different studios. Despite this though, there was still hope of a sequel after these various projects were finished, but with the announcement of the Wii and PlayStation 3, all hope of a sequel seemed long gone. Skies of Arcadia still lives on as a nod to the fans, with 2 notable appearances for the main character Vice in recent years. One of said appearances being as a guest character in the Sega strategy game Valkyria Chronicles, and the other being as a fully playable character in the game Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing Transformed, which is a wonderful karting game which I recommend to you. If you haven't already played it, seriously go out and buy that game. It's awesome and Skies gets good representation in it. But that will be the end of this episode of Nintendo No, guys, so if you enjoyed it, please click that like button, and if you're feeling especially generous, subscribe as well. Also, I really want to know what you think of Skies. Have you ever played the original or Legends, and would you have liked to see a sequel? I think it's definitely a shame we didn't get a sequel, because Skies is a very interesting concept to me. But that'll be the end of this episode, guys. Bye bye.